Okay, camera's on. Call meeting to order. We'll have a pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Have roll call.
English. Here. Farnham. Here. Helsley. Here. Voigt.
Here.
Zuber.
Here.
Bruner.
Here.
Janice.
Here. Has everybody read the minutes of the February 19th, 2014 meeting? And if so, are there any additions or corrections?
Yeah, the new door has not been installed yet at the animal shelter. It says it has. I talked to Bob Wilson yesterday, and it will be put in when the weather gets better.
Sorry for the misunderstanding.
Yeah.
No, I
We'll
thought-
correct it.
I didn't think it's that important, but I thought I'd mention it.
I
In case
thought-
somebody went out to see it.
Yeah, I thought it was reported that it was.
Pardon?
You're not asking the minutes to be changed?
No, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, you're not
Reported
changing.
that
I
it was.
just talked to Bob yesterday, and the door will be installed.
We have a motion to accept the minutes.
Could we change the minutes if that's incorrect?
No,
Make that
that part?
the correction to that?
No, that ain't incorrect. That was the statement that was made at the meeting.
Oh,
He's just found out since that it wasn't done, correct?
okay. Well, can we correct it then? He made that statement, but that's,
It'll be in this month's minutes, right?
Yes.
okay, all right.
Okay.
I move their approval, Mr. Chairman.
I should have brought it up. Right.
Second.
All those in favor?
I'm learning.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Claims against the county. Has everybody reviewed the claims? Are there any?
I'd just like to point out there's a big chunk to Manatron this month. I think you've been aware of that, but, so,
And another big chunk, probably the June board meeting.
but it still helps that we can split it up.
Then we would entertain a motion for their approval.
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor, use a sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. County board member claims.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, use a sign. Opposed, same sign. Public comment. Seeing none.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything.
Thank you. Item number 8. Request from
So good to see people laugh.
Bushu Human Resource Incorporated to authorize county board chairman to sign a power of attorney for representing the county under the Illinois Unemployment Insurance Act.
Can you explain?
Basically, this is like, and Augie may be better to explain this than I am from that standpoint. My understanding on this is that there are just so many things that will come up that's why you hire somebody like a Bushu and Associates to take care of those issues. Is that pretty much it, Augie, from your understanding?
Yes, and it's part of that full
It's
service.
full service agreement, so it's like, it's a part of what we're paying for, basically.
And the way they explain it, we're not giving up anything, but we're just allowing them to step in and get more involved with our potential liabilities.
Right, and find out more.
And find
So
out more.
that we are a little bit better served.
Yeah. And the way I understand, if there is an issue or an appeal, they need to be involved with that
So
process.
that they deal with it. That's my understanding also. Does that need to be in a motion?
Yes, it does.
I would make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that we authorize the board chairman to sign the power of attorney for Bushu representing employer under the Illinois Unemployment Insurance Act. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 9. Mike, you want to handle that? Appoint Jill Taylor.
We've had, some of you are aware here, Kit Majors resigned a while back, and we had a committee meeting here last month about replacing both the chairman, or the ESDA coordinator, and the coordinator's assistant, secretary, whatever you want to call that person. We've had several applications come in, and we decided that we want to go ahead and make Jill Taylor our full-time coordinator, and then we will look at, we'll cooperate with her, and we'll look at the applications for the assistant coordinator.
That may be, because of the quality of the applicants, maybe office manager / training of coordinator, assistant coordinator.
No
And
matter
Jill's-
what the position is, they just have to fall within our grant requirements and training and things like that, so.
And Jill's position, just to clarify, is not a full-time position. It is she would be
Less than 30 hours?
yes.
Did you make that in form of a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Jill Taylor as the county ESDA coordinator.
Second.
There's a motion to appoint Jill Taylor as county ESDA coordinator. All those in favor by the usual sign.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Item 10 is an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Paris for partial reimbursement and use of an emergency generator. Mike, you want to take that? That's ESDA.
In the study session, Kirk Allen pointed out that there was a grant for that, and which I'm glad he did, and I was able to talk to Brian Gates, and they applied for the grant, but they didn't get it. So that's why we are, Brian has asked graciously through the ESDA if, I'll give you some background. The city built, the fire department built a training center, and it's quite a nice little building, and it's got a lot of uses other than training. And long story short, we've had some difficulty in the past in warming and cooling centers. There's several volunteers, the hospital and some other places wanted to do it, but there was some issues that came up. So the city's graciously said, look, let's let the county use that for, if in case a tornado blows down the ESDA headquarters, we could locate out there in an emergency, or we can use that for a number of things. And we could even use it for training if we needed to, but that's what it's for. And they said, oh, by the way, we're gonna put a generator out there. Would the county be interested in helping us do that? And so what's happened is they've agreed to pay for the generator. We've decided, if you guys go ahead and okay it, to go as, we've got a cap of $4,000 to do the installation of the generator and the emergency switch. When the power goes out, it automatically kicks on, turns the generator on. So that's what we're coming to you this morning. We'd like for the county to cooperate with the city. We've got a written agreement. Jeff has a copy of it. I think some of you saw it the other day at the.
It was in your board packet.
Yeah, it was in the board packet. I think we should do this. So I make a motion that we appropriate up to $4,000 towards the labor and installation costs of this generator at the emergency, or at the training center.
I second, and if I could add, Mr. Chairman, this would come out of general fund, and I'd get an item where we have contingency, so we wouldn't have to reappropriate it, we would just simply take it out of this year's budget.
Did you have a question?
Yes. Do you know approximately what it's gonna cost for the generator?
Generator was
ballpark.
That's what they gave us all the-
What?
I believe six something,
How much?
a little over $6,000. Because we
Okay.
had them come in and look, and they're saying to meet what we have out there, make it fully functional for the uses that we would use it for, each every room, we need like.
So are we paying half of whatever it comes up to, or, but you said up to 4,000, so.
Well, no, that was priced as a generator only, there's a separate price on the installation.
We'll get them. So if the installation is $6,000, and then.
For installing, right.
Or if the installation is $200, then we
We only pay $200.
Just we're paying for installation, and you're buying the generator.
Yes.
Okay.
And any installation cost over there.
Over 4,000, yes.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's a 20 kV, and
the,
then,
the, the installations actually cost more than 4,000.
Right,
Just
but I
paying
mean,
4,000
just-
of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No more questions.
Got a motion and second, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I second it.
We got a motion and second to pay up $4,000 for the installation of the emergency transfer switch and the power and the wiring to the generator, installation of the generator. All those in favor? Use your
Aye.
phone. Opposed? Item 11. A, or 1, is a resolution authorizing the county board chairman to sign BLR 05321 Truck Access Route Program, TARP, agreement with, and the clerk to transmit BLR 03210, establishing a Class 3 designated truck route for the following: CH3 Scotland Road, Section 12-00112-00-RS. Aaron?
Pretty straightforward on that one. You guys are gonna give them the authority to sign the TARP agreement, which is the funding arrangement. You're giving Augie the authority to submit 3210, which means that we will sign it as a Class 3 truck route.
So moved.
Do we have a second? Second. I'll have a roll call.
English,
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Number 2. Yeah, that passed. Number 2, resolution for improvement BLR 09110, appropriating motor fuel tax for the following: CH1 Vermillion Road, Section 14-00124-00-RS. Aaron?
This 9110 is the county board's going to authorize the use of motor fuel tax for the matching amount to the federal county highway 1 resurfacing from 150 to Clinton Road, Carl. I don't know if you heard that one yet. It's a pavement preservation resurfacing from 150 to the Clinton Road, the Vermillion Road there. What you're passing today is the 9110, which is the local match to the federal project.
Are you doing it, or who's?
Oh, no, that'll be a contractor
Okay.
this summer.
That
We
road
hadn't heard
isn't,
this one.
that road isn't all that old, is it?
No, it's not.
And what are you doing?
We're gonna do pavement preservation. We're gonna put a thin lift overlay on it. It's almost actually beyond preserving. It's so bad. Yeah, next time you drive it, look at it.
I saw you out there last Saturday driving it.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was making some
So
changes in
moved.
the program.
Have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Vermillion Road preservation. Roll call.
English,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed, 6-0. Item 3 is a resolution for the improvement of BLR 09110, supplemental appropriating additional motor fuel tax for the following: CH31 High School Road, Section 13-00123-02-RS. Aaron?
Three sections on the high school road. Remind you, there's the 00, which is the railroad crossing. There's the 01, which is the day labor widening, and then there's the 02, which is the resurfacing. The 02 project, which is what this is, was going to be a federal project. It is now a motor fuel tax project, and we only asked for enough money to do the match on the high school road for the resurfacing. We're now doing a supplemental resolution, asking for a little bit more money to do a motor fuel tax resurfacing, if we in fact hot mix resurface it.
And that's from the crossing west.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Go ahead, Carl.
Here, I wasn't at the meeting Monday, but I saw the article in the paper, and because of the cities, you're having to rethink what you're doing.
Yes, sir. The, to make it simple, you know I can't do that very well. In order to resurface that project with federal dollars, we have to know what's going on now. We've run out of time. They don't like to switch gears. You have to put on the letting information, the plans and specifications, 5 copies of them, they're all over in Springfield. It's called a state let project. It's let by state. We're gonna move it into a local let, give ourselves more control. And then later on, we're gonna decide if we're even gonna hot mix resurface it. We wanna, cause I'm hearing that the city may not. So I'm giving us more time, and I'm giving us more flexibility in what we finally decide. We're gonna move forward. We're pretty good shape on the 00, which is the crossing. We're in good shape on the 01, which is the widening. And we've run out of time to tell the state that we're gonna hot mix resurface it. So I'm asking you for a little bit more motor fuel tax money in the event that we do hot mix resurface it.
So we still don't know what's gonna happen to the east side.
We don't know, that is correct.
That's not us. I'll still make that motion.
You have a second?
Yeah, I just asked.
Second.
A roll call?
English,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
6-0.
6-0. Motion carried. Resolution authorizing the county board chairman to sign BLR 05310 LA/Fed participation agreement for CH1 Vermillion Road, FAS 678, Section 11-00106-00-SP Project HSIP-0678, parentheses 108.
Heelan's Dip, this is 4 years in the coming. This is the federal agreement for the Heelan's Dip Safety Project. It'll take a long time to get executed on their side, get you guys executed local today, and our hope is still to start that this fall. This is the Heelan's Dip federal agreement, 90-10 safety money, 90% federal participation in the project. We're authorizing Ben to sign that federal agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Is that Bruner?
Okay. We'll have a roll call.
English,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion carried 6-0. Resolution authorizing county board chairman to sign BLR 05310 LA/Fed participation agreement, CH8, Forest Brockton Road, FAS 679, Section 10-00105-02-RS, Project RS-0679, parentheses 111.
Similar to what you just passed in item 1 on County Highway 1 from 150 to Clinton Road, you're also now authorizing Ben to sign a federal agreement to do a 1.25 inch resurfacing from the east corporate limits of Brockton all the way to Illinois Route 1. It's a federal project. You're authorizing Ben to sign the federal agreement. It's on April letting. We anticipate the resurfacing to go this summer.
So moved.
Second.
This also be a roll call.
English.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion carried, 6-0. Item 12 is a resolution from Joseph P. Myers, County Tax Agent, authorizing the issuance of a deed of conveyance to Ella M. Richards for parcel 15-02-31-407-001, number 1 S Center Street in Hume, Illinois.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Of course, this gets it off our books and moves it out, so it's a
Right.
good thing.
Roll call.
English.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Zuber.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
6-0.
Item 13,
Mr. Chairman, we're at a point where we're going to be getting together on other issues, so we would like authorization to advertise for the airport manager. That would be a part-time position as we see it at this point, and we would like the authorization so when it's time we can pull the trigger on it.
that kind of, all
Yeah,
motion?
it's a motion, please.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carried. Item 14, authorize use of existing building to Larry and Matt Moss in exchange for maintenance of building.
Mr. Chairman, for the last few years, even though I think the last time I saw anything on that was when Kevin Trogdon brought it to our attention, this gets us back into the correct area with the I's dotted and the T's crossed to make sure that we have an agreement executed to cover the use of that building and the maintenance of that building. Additionally, what it does also allow for is that, no, that's another building, never mind, I'll get to that later. Never mind.
Is this something that airport manager working on getting an agreement or?
Well, actually Augie is,
You're-
Augie and I are,
Okay.
yeah. But he is aware of it and appreciate, we worked out some other things that I'll talk to you about later that you'll appreciate.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Item 15, approval of bid specs for ambulance service.
Mr. Chairman, we need to table this. We have a few details to work out.
That we need to vote on table. You have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign.
Mr. Chairman, I had a question on, is it possible that we might need a special meeting to do that? Or once things have been worked out, or how do you see that?
I don't think we can, but I would like to maybe run it by the state.
Okay.
Well, are we gonna have a time, are we gonna have a time issue, because of contracts?
Contract's up May 31st. I think if we get it out in the next week or so, we'll be all right. Then we'll put a deadline on when the bids are received, and we're looking at May 1st for that. So all the bids have to be.
Well, aren't you asking that we're gonna have to have a special meeting to vote?
To go out
to
to
do
bid,
that?
or do we?
I don't know, I don't know.
I'm asking.
If it, will it wait till April, is what he said?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I prefer not to.
That's what, okay, so then we may,
Yeah, we
be
can-
prepared to get together to get you what you need, or what we need to get everything done on time. That's what I'm,
You're saying we need to vote to approve it before it goes out?
Right.
Yes, and then so that takes, whenever you get that done, if you let Augie know and you get 3 members to sign, we can have a special meeting for that. Thank you.
Yep, that's what I meant. What you said.
Item 16, resolution authorizing issuance of tax anticipation notes / financing.
Don has discussed with me, he can go into it, but we do this every year, it's a housekeeping. We probably will have to do it because of the IMRF fund, more so than the regular fund, or this Fund 100, but it's something that he set up and we need to execute, so if we do need to borrow, that.
It's authorizing the treasurer to borrow money if he
Right.
needs to
Right.
for operation.
I'm going the long way
Right.
around the barn, yes.
We normally do this by now because we need to, but I haven't had the wolves breathing down my neck as much, which is a good thing. I will say this, Jeff mentioned about IMRF. Remember, we can still use general fund money to cover levied money deficiencies. And I will utilize that as long as I can if we are able to. But then, like Jeff said, if we do have to borrow, that'll probably be what push comes to shove. It's going to be for IMRF.
Do we have to vote or give you permission or something to keep it local? Did we do that last year? Or is that just something?
That's, I will stand on my soapbox here and tell you, I will keep everything local. I always have and I always will.
We
You
haven't
can
formally done
chisel
that.
in
Okay, I
stone.
can't remember where we had to have a formal vote on that.
We just had his assurance on
Okay.
what he would do
Okay.
and how he would handle it.
Okay.
I
We've
actually,
never had any issues.
it ruffles my feathers when people even think about
But you'd go to New York to try to get our money?
No,
Oh,
it's-
no.
Mr. English tried to get me stirred up the other day.
Who?
Yeah. Rest assured, I will always seek local assistance in borrowing or investing.
So moved on the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a roll call?
English,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Voigt,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
6-0, that resolution passes. Item 17, officers and department head reports. Don, you want to start with?
We've already talked about the tax anticipation just moments ago. As you can see from the report, compared to a year ago, our cash flow is better by about a couple $100,000. We're talking about the subtotal general funds line down there. And our general fund is a little over 100,000 better. So, and I mentioned this to Jeff before the meeting, I've got 48,000 of sales tax and state's attorney reimbursement that will hit by the end of this week. So once again, cash flow is so sporadic that if I would have got that news 2 days ago, this report would look even better. But that's just the nature of the game. So, and that's almost what it is, a game. You're just hoping that it goes to your advantage different times. Other than that, as you can see down there at the IMRF retirement fund, we're down to 65,000. And what do we, how much average per payroll, Jeff? I'm off the top of your head, isn't it?
Well, the supplemental is 89, and then it's, boy, I guess I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'd just be pulling.
I think we'll get through a couple more payrolls, but then we'll be down to fumes on that, and we'll see how.
But we're doing better than we thought we were.
Oh, yes, we are, definitely.
When you say supplemental, is that additional money?
That
And
we
that's
pay.
done monthly?
Yes. Yeah, we
They've
paid-
changed that now, yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
But is it still at the same
Well, it
rate?
went up a little bit. It goes up a little bit every year. I'm trying to find it here, folks. I'm sorry.
When you say go, it's.
I mean, that was the part that we're trying to pay off a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Right.
on
We're-
this
we're kind
year's
of in
budget,
arrears
and so
on some,
That we're,
yeah.
Yes.
kind of in arrears.
Yes.
Yeah.
They set us
But
up.
I don't know if you've seen the report, our report is looking better, and Augie will have it in his office, but it is,
Okay.
we have made a dent in it, and that's good.
It's $8,080 in addition that we're paying. We used to pay lump sums, remember?
Right.
And then the state put us, everybody,
Right.
I'm sure they appreciated it, but I'm sure there was folks that weren't doing it. So now we just pay out.
You said it's amortized over the amount of time.
Donnie, when you say IMR, does that mean SHLEP too?
Yeah, yeah, when I say that, I'm generalizing, yes, left
Okay, that's three
everything.
different funds. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Other than that, any questions? Thank you.
Aaron?
We have a meeting a week from today at the Farm Bureau, Trails and Greenways, and the Capital Improvement Plan meeting, scheduled for 4:30 to 6 at the Farm Bureau on Wednesday, the 19th. So I'd encourage everyone to attend if possible.
I had a question of him. I just wanted to we discussed at the last couple of meetings, or it's been a couple of meetings, what is the timetable for the Scotland Road, other than working on the shoulders?
Our current schedule, Dirk Mohan calls our scheduling sandcastles, and similar to what Don was saying with financing. We have aggregate there to do widening of the shoulders as soon as it firms up. It's FY15 TARP money, which doesn't begin at least until this summer. So based on our current schedule, it will likely be calendar 15 before we do the full bill.
So we're just gonna do the shoulders this calendar year?
And prep it, which means we'll sand seal it and scrub seal it.
And if we kept the waves away, there couldn't be any faster than that?
No, there's a chance. We have a very, very large day labor program, and it's currently not scheduled in this program. So it's a cold mix overlay, and what that means is it needs to be done between late May and late August. And we've got a lot of projects, Cherry Point Road, Vermillion Road, Shiloh Road, all projects that have to be done at the same time frame. And what's worse is we do not have enough storage in our yard to haul the material to build those projects. So we have to haul the material, make the mix, build the project. That happens in the heat of the season. That makes room in the yard for us to haul material for the next project, where we typically don't have time to haul in the middle of summer. So we have a very aggressive program. The TARP for Scotland is FY15. The TARP for Cherry Point, Shiloh, and Vermillion are all FY14. IDOT says in their solicitation, if you're going to take TARP money, we only want to fund projects that are ready to do in that fiscal year. That doesn't mean it doesn't move out. You're going to miss it sometimes, but if you get in a habit of letting them down, you won't get more TARP money. Does that answer your question? Scotland Road's an FY15 TARP, which means from June of 14, July 1st, June 30 of July 1 of 14 to June 30 of 15 is when the state would like to see that get built. It's currently on our Sandcastle schedule, which I'll be glad to give all you guys a copy of that schedule. It's currently shown for next construction season.
Well, if you can put the sandcastle together with glue, we'd appreciate it. Okay?
And most of the projects we're doing, we still don't have approval for.
Yeah.
So there'll be agreed unit prices for all of those. Every one of those projects moved through a series. I'd say 70% of my job I don't control. So as far as the timing standpoint, look at this Heelands dip. It's 4 years old, and we're just now approving the federal agreement. And to expand even further, once Ben signs it, I don't know when we'll get it back. Sometimes we get it back in a month or two. Sometimes it takes 4 to 6.
Well, any consideration you can give that road up there for any selection of work, we'd appreciate it.
Understood.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, we discussed at the study session, I want to clarify that I think I speak for everybody on the board, that we're very interested in the Greenways project. And if it came out in the paper or was interpreted by someone at the county board was dragging their feet or was not enthusiastic about it, that was wrong. I think I don't think we're gonna have parades and things about it, but still, we're interested in it, and we'd like to see it go through, and especially when Aaron explained it, that the cost-wise, it's really not, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, so.
Yeah, I want to support Mike. I want to state in public session here that the county board has never not been, two negatives, supportive of the Greenways program. Furthermore, their decision to instruct me to have another public involvement meeting so that they knew more about where we currently are with the project, I 100% and fully support. So the county board did not push back in any way. They made a very wise observation that we need to take it to the public again, not only to find out if the public still wants to do this, but also when you make grant applications, public involvement is the cornerstone of whether or not these agencies want to give you the money. So I just wanted to support what you said, Mike.
And I haven't talked with anybody in the city, but again, reading the article in the paper, the city of Paris, they we're going to pursue this. So
Yes.
is this something you can work together with them?
Absolutely. My
Because I know
biggest,
some of it's in the city limits, some of it outside the city
Absolutely.
limits.
the biggest error I've made probably in this term is sometimes I get into other people's business. It's because I grew up here. And I want to be very clear that I can't speak for the city. So while everyone encourages partnerships and cooperation, what that does is will sometimes get you in trouble because you'll accidentally speak on someone else's behalf. So at this public meeting, we have Prairie's Edge, we have Cherry Point, and we have a piece of the High School Road. And I've got to be very careful on behalf of the board to only speak on county jurisdiction. Our trail by itself is not a good idea. It's just simply not.
It goes all over the place.
Well, it takes off down here, well, listen to what I'm saying, I'm already speaking on behalf of the city. It takes off at Sunset Park and ends at the high school. Goes up Prairie's Edge, goes down Cherry Point Road, and down High School Road. So our trail is about connectivity and transportation. That's what the county's role, if you're gonna put everybody in their own box and not talk, our role is connectivity and transportation. And we're in really good shape on that. The more difficult part on behalf of the city is what they're going to do. And, you know, it's a tougher animal than what we're working on. Ours is a trail, 10-foot wide multi-use trail from point A to point B. So please be gracious when I accidentally speak on someone else's behalf. Because, you know, on this shoulder, I'm being encouraged to cooperate and work together. But on this shoulder, I'm being told, be careful, you're in our jurisdiction. So I think we're in good shape. The Greenways grant that we got in 2009, we've been with the city. The city of Paris was active in that process. And, you know, Trish Vitale worked at the county for a while. Now she's working at Francis, which basically works as the city. And all the stuff that we've done in my office now is over there. So I think that she ought to be able to say, this is what the county was working on. And so I think there's a lot of cooperation that's needed. I think the school district would need to step up if they should desire to participate. And I think for us to get a grant, it's gonna have to be built in phases. This is a very, very large, long-term investment. We can't make matches and can't even make schedules because we're planning on doing our match in kind, as you guys all know. In fact, we can't afford to buy it. So if we can't build it with in kind, we can't even be sitting at that table. So I hope I answered that question. I think.
Yes.
Circuit clerk, have any?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Hesda?
No.
Animal shelter?
Don't forget Bonnie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Poor Bonnie.
Everything's good with probation, thank you.
So that's everybody? I think, isn't it?
Don't forget all.
Oh, I
Feel the love on
You're
it.
getting the look. He's just got an election.
You thought Aaron was lengthy.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm-
I'll get talking for 5 minutes on Wednesday night. There's a bet
That's what you
going,
said.
there's a bet going here, so.
We are just extremely busy with the early voting and preparing for the upcoming election, which is next Tuesday, March the 18th. My goodness. I'll spare you the details, but we've been extremely busy. Early voting turnout has increased. We are now over 400, and I think, yeah, it's running about 50 voters a day, so we're pleased with that turnout, and just like to encourage everybody to get out and vote and exercise their constitutional rights. Next several days, next couple weeks will be extremely busy. It's all about elections right now. But, that's what I have.
Mr. Clerk,
Yes, sir, Mr. Treasurer.
there's a rumor that there's going to be a ballot, absentee ballot coming from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I just thought I'd chirp that in there on a personal note.
Do we, Mr. Clerk, do we recognize them as a formal state of this union?
Hey, we dotted our i's and crossed our t's, it's gonna count.
If it gets here, as long as they're ready.
We were on the phone yesterday, he was asking for some fatherly advice.
So what did your wife tell him?
He had the nerve to say that. He had the nerve to ask me, who do I vote for treasurer? Oh, well.
What's the tires?
Dan, do you have any committee report?
We had a meeting on Monday with Andrew at the animal shelter. Adoption program's doing very well. She did get on a website called Pet Finder, which is another way of getting dogs adopted out into the, actually, it's, I think, countrywide.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's helped a lot. I think there's only, I think she said 7 dogs in the shelter, which is unusual because normally it's 10, 12, 15. We are working on job descriptions for the employees, Andrew and Ron, so that's in the works. We'll probably bring it to the board maybe next time, next month. And there are new security cameras that have been bought. The weather's been kind of bad to put them up, so we're waiting until the weather gets better. And we do have a new door that will be installed in the near future. I talked to Bob Wilson yesterday, and he's aware of it, and it will be put in. So I did talk to him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other than that, everything's going fine.
Dale? Alan?
A few things. On the last Regional Office of Education meeting, it was announced there that the roof has gone bad over there after some sort of storm. There's always this question about who owns that building, who doesn't own that building. There's a lease agreement with all the counties involved. The Coles County, whatever, organization that actually owns that building is, I think they're gonna come back and ask for an amount from each county to pay for that roof. Right now, we have different people looking at whose responsibility that is. There was something that was originally set up in that lease that I'm not sure was ever paid, where there was an auxiliary amount that was supposed to be paid per month for maintenance, continual maintenance of the building. That's one issue. Whether or not, when the ROE was paying their amount of money, whether or not they thought that was included in that. So this is just down the road, just to give you a little warm up to it anyway. Insurance, Travis Bushy was here and did give a short summary, not short summary, but a summary of the Affordable Care Act. There's no such thing as a short summary of the Affordable Care Act. At our study session 2 times ago, that is an issue that will involve more and more financial liabilities, quite honestly, for the county as it goes on, and especially as we start to bring our county together to find out exactly how many full-time and part-time employees we have, whether we obviously are above the 50, but whether or not our number of part-time employees make us creep above 100, which kicks in another effect. This will just be something that will, as Travis said, and as Kirk Good told us last year, will not go away. So I mean, it's something we're just going to face with. The other thing I do want to even highlight again, the Trails meeting. I'll plan on being there on the 19th, and I'm supposed to try to moderate that. But I think you've told me everything that we were going to say at that meeting, so we're safe. However, Augie, I will try to hold him because that is my job here. You put it down, keep him to 5 minutes. I hate to pick on you, but he's the one who told me that. So again, just a reminder, that is open to the public, and it is hopefully in the spirit of cooperation. I mean, I don't like the idea where we're us and them and this type of stuff. If we can get everybody together, I think it'll be good for the whole county. Went to a Department of Economic Opportunity meeting. Been trying to share those with many people as possible. There's kind of a new director that's out of Danville that's over the Edgar County area, and she's really tried to set up several different times where people can come in and find out what the state of Illinois has to offer. either in the way of small business, manufacturing, just basically economic opportunity. So if you see those things coming around, you're probably from me. Because I think that's also an important aspect. If there's something out there from the state of Illinois that we're not getting, maybe we should be. That's it.
Mike,
I don't have anything.
Carl,
No?
Jeff,
I have a couple of things. Did I hear you laugh? The budget, we've got 33% of the year under our belts, or pretty near. Income's about 20%, and we're at 27% expenditures. So we're in fairly decent shape. As Donna said, our cash flow keeps improving. Everybody's help and consideration, department heads and elected officials is much appreciated. The fees that were presented to us, I've talked to both the sheriff and the county clerk, and with everything going on, the finance committee will be meeting with those folks and talking about the fees and a recommendation to the board here shortly, hopefully by next meeting. Okay, the other thing that the finance committee needs to do, and this is before it gets away from us, we need to determine certain elected officials' salary for the upcoming, those that are up for election, that goes into effect on 12/1/14. We need to do that, and before that time slips away rather rapidly. I can't believe we're in the 4th month of this fiscal year anyway, so those are two things that we need to deal with, okay?
If I could ask, on
Please.
our duty and fees, we've talked a little bit about that. We went through that study and found that out. If I'm understanding, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. If we don't adopt, or if we don't do different changes there, even if we would decide to do more 2 years from now, the most that we could do was what was just presented.
That's
So,
the way I took it.
Yeah, so if we don't do something about this, and I'm looking at revenue sources, I know that's not always a great source on that, but I'm concerned that if we don't look at these pretty hard, all of a sudden, 4 years is gonna come down the pike, or 3 years, and we may say, boy, we'd like to have a little bit more. Well, the reality of that is, what it's costing right now, 3 years is gonna cost more than that, but we're only gonna be able, and maybe Augie, you can explain, we're only gonna be able to ask for what these people just said we could.
Right.
We can't prorate that 3 years, 4 years down the road.
We need to
So
be
is that-
aggressive and practical.
Is that what
Yes.
I'm kind of understanding?
That's the way I understand it. I mean,
Because I just,
Finance Committee will get together with them and make a recommendation
which
to us.
Carl
Is that-
and I will
I just
get on
want
and,
to see if that's kind of what it
and
was.
of course, everybody else that would, we'll do our secret meetings, so if any of the other board members
Yeah.
wants to be there.
So
We
you're
had to pay
saying,
for that. We were compelled by statute to pay for that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the company didn't come in and it was a two-phase deal, yes.
Okay.
They
No,
came
we
in.
are, I think what you're asking is, do we have to have, we have to have
Yeah,
that before you can raise rates?
Right.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
have to have a professional recommendation and justification.
So
We can't just say, well, we think the marriage fee ought to be $85 instead of $35.
Right, so what my recollection then, or understand what Alan's saying is, well, since we've already done that, since we paid for it, we better be doing something with it, if we're gonna do something.
That's
Right.
our
Okay.
point.
That's
And
my
I was
concern.
telling the board that in talking to the department heads that it involved, that they're, with the election and everything else going on, they would ask that we wait till this next couple of weeks and then have a recommendation to you in April.
so all the fees have to be raised by vote of the board, or can this be done, say, sheriff department, you raise your fee, or does that go through the board first?
Yes, it
before you
would
raise
have to
fees?
go through the board, yes. Is that you and?
Yes,
You're following me?
I remember that, seeing that cost, and I don't even remember what it was now, and I thought that was under the regular audit. No, it's a separate.
It is
Okay.
a separate issue.
Okay, I
Yes, sir.
understand.
Well, we haven't.
Well, Ben, did you,
No, I was saying that the other item that he mentioned was the setting of any pay increases for the elected officials. That has to be done before November,
Right, but I just thought.
and we should probably do it as soon as we can.
And we'll ask input,
Right.
from everybody, so.
and that's just our part of it.
Yeah, I mean, if it happened to be the state's attorney and they were paying part of it, it'd have to be, but we're not faced with the state's attorney right now.
Yeah, all there
It's
is
the
is
sheriff,
sheriff and
County clerk,
and
and
treasurer.
Don.
Cause the state kicks in some on the sheriff. doesn't it?
Oh, circuit clerk too? No, I thought
No.
it was last time. She was elected last time.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fees.
You got lots of different things going on in
We
there.
got two different subjects.
Yeah, I switched to the salary increases.
Yeah, that's just the treasurer, the
Sheriff and the clerk.
sheriff and the clerk.
And we passed them over last time, it did
Right.
not increase, so they haven't had any increases for 8 years.
Or,
Well, when you figure it was prior, 4
Well,
years
right,
prior,
yeah.
so it's 8 years, so.
and can I shift gears? Huh? Yeah. I wanted to ask the finance committee if they've heard anything from our auditing firm.
No, I was just gonna ask you, I haven't heard anything,
I haven't heard a word, no emails or anything. I know that they gathered a lot of information up and they said they had a lot of office work to do on it, which is fine. They don't need to be hanging out there if they can do it all. I just haven't heard anything.
Did they get everything from you, Karen, on your J's? I saw Joe, the first, let's see, just before the end of the month in February, and he said everything was going fine, but,
Okay.
you know, I don't know what that means.
You might touch base with them and see where they're at and make sure
Right.
they've got us get going.
Yeah, I think Janet at the health department already filed for an extension just to cover herself for grants and stuff. It's kind of a housekeeping thing, just so that, but other than that, I think we're still okay.
He was still talking about doing a preliminary report to us, I think, in April, so.
Well, I think the comptroller's guideline or state guideline is they're to have our audit by within 6 months of the end of our fiscal year, so I think we have till the end of May with no issues at all.
But we were still looking to have it, so if we needed to address things, we could get them addressed and corrected, so.
Right.
Okay, we'll both follow up on that.
You talking about increase for all elected officials?
He's over.
No, you missed
The
that boat, buddy. That ship sailed.
It's every 10 years.
All right,
Is it, that's a good question.
It's been over 20 years since the county board
Well, I
was.
just wonder about that, they're an elected official every two, each every two.
No,
They
in
get
the-
a break
in the-
first
when you-
check, is it?
It's every 10 years for the county board.
Yeah, it's-
I'm just joking.
it's a cycle and
But it's been 20 years.
Forget
since
what I
anything.
said.
Well, that's really surprising.
The last thing-
$100 a month is just way too much. I'm just kidding.
The last thing I wanted to report was on the airport issues. We do have, as you know, a response on our commercial question that we placed in the paper asking for interest. And we had Mr. Jim Mills, who we met with, a month and a half ago, presented his credentials, bank backup statements, and his ideas, and I guess we're to the point where we need to look forward to negotiating with him, and we need to,
The airport committee will do the negotiating, won't they? And
That's
then
what-
bring something to us.
we assume. So is that what you want us
That's
to?
what I would recommend.
All right,
Anything
That's-
else?
unless somebody has some questions. Do we have an executive session today?
The state's attorney did not request that we go in.
I don't have
I can
anything.
call him if you'd like.
No.
You have time for lunch,
Anybody else have anything?
Oh, I did not get with Bev on, somebody asked something about the new fees. Okay, well, I don't have an answer yet, and I didn't get a chance to do it, and I figured she'd be here today, but I will get an answer to the board for that, okay? And whoever else needed to know that. Okay, on the fees and whether, based on the quadrennial and all that stuff. I haven't forgotten, I just didn't do it.
You ready to pull the trigger?
Are you ready for that motion? I would like to make that motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Less than an hour, that's the first time of the year, isn't it?
Okay, Mr. Clerk, I'm gonna shut the camera down.